Good Friday morning and welcome to Around the Block. I'm Carrie King along with Kent Ogle and Jacqueline Ferris. I mean,
Hello.
I'm the odd man out. You two are usually here on Fridays, right?
We are.
I'm the one
True.
that's like, surprise, here I am.
Well, awesome. So glad you're here.
Yeah, this is going to be fun on this Friday. I don't know. We're going to start right off the bat here with, I don't know if you've tried to log into Facebook or Instagram, but there's a massive outage for Meta right now. So nobody panic because it'll come back up eventually, but there's no timeline.
Wow. Yeah.
But people are panicked.
They are panicking. They are. When is it coming back up?
Yes.
Well, let me look into my crystal ball,
Right.
shall I? You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could tell you, but I cannot.
There are a lot of people that do business.
A 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a big deal. I
Sure
mean,
it
it
is.
isn't just a social platform.
No, that's
There
right.
business is conducted there. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, we definitely want it back up, and I'm sure they do too.
I'm sure they do.
So I know it's fevers. They're working on it, but as of right now, it's still out. So but be patient. It will come back up.
You'll get your
Patience and
videos.
social media, they don't always go together very well.
No, they don't. Neither does kindness. But that's a discussion for another day. Second of all, let's talk about today is K4's parent company Nextstar's Founders Day. This is a day every year that we celebrate the founding of the company. It was celebrating 30 years this year. And so we have a team of the K4 staff out in the community volunteering at different locations. And we'll be bringing you updates on that throughout the day. It's always a good day to celebrate Founders Day with some volunteering.
Yeah, that's awesome. Kevin and I had the chance a few years back to go to the Boys and Girls Club, do some painting with them there.
I remember
Yeah,
this.
that was a whole lot of fun. And so this is a great opportunity to get out in the community and help out a little bit. And I'm glad that the owners of the company decided that would be a worthwhile adventure for their day.
I know. Give back, right?
Right.
Give back to the communities. And of course, K4 gives back all year round to the community in many different ways and supporting different nonprofits
Sure.
like Salvation Army at Christmas time and the bell ringing and through many other organizations that we work through. But this day is special.
Yeah, I agree. This is really great. I think some of our gangs that feed the children a day and a couple
Yes.
other outfits. So,
Angels Foster Network, I
Yes.
believe, is another one.
Mhm.
And I've volunteered at that location, at that nonprofit through a different nonprofit. And it's an amazing program. And if you don't know about it, please go learn about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And
And
we'll
make
be-
a donation.
Yes, absolutely. Or volunteer your time. That's
There
a
you go.
donation too,
That is a
right?
donation,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about degrees for the state of Oklahoma. So the regents have decided and the legislature decided, you know what, we want to try and make things smoother or to move faster through the educational system. So we're going we want you to come up with a plan for these 3-year bachelor's programs. So this isn't a 4-year bachelor plan that you're trying to shove into 3 years. This
Right.
is really a plan to get it all in 3 years.
That's what I
And-
first thought, though. I thought, well, they must just be adding extra hours onto the 3 years or something.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So these programs will be a total of 90 credit hours. And I'm not really sure. I can't remember. Is it 120 or ish? That's usually for that
Right.
regular
I think
4-year
so,
degree,
yeah.
right about that.
Mhm.
And so they say they're not going to be learning less or, not getting everything. It's just different industries, different plans might be better suited for this 90-hour program.
Yeah, just a little streamlined.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they've already announced proposals for 2 in social work and cybersecurity. And today, OSU is proposing one in artificial intelligence and business essentials. Interesting.
Yeah, certainly sound like things that are current.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, absolutely. There's definitely in demand,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And I guess that the board is going to be meeting on that today. And so we will be following that to let you know how that turns out.
And they're kind of following suit because a couple of other schools have already taken a look and moving in that direction as well.
Right. When the legislature tells you to do something and they're your funding source or a lot of your funding source, you do what they say, right?
Right.
Now, I jest. Yes, of course they do. They follow
Sure.
that direction. But it sounds like they're definitely working on these plans and really that's pretty fast to me in the academic world, sometimes those wheels move a little slower.
No, exactly.
This is moving along.
Because there's all kinds of other criteria they have to meet, of course.
Shoot ya.
Yeah.
You shoot ya.
Yeah, that's interesting, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else we want to celebrate is the National Guard Museum ribbon cutting, and that is so exciting because it's a rich military history in Oklahoma, and of course the Oklahoma Army and Air National Guard. This museum has been a long time coming, and I think it's just going to be so spectacular.
Yeah, a lot of us called it the 45th, earlier when it was over on 36th Street, and some of it still is, of course. But it's so cool. So many people in Oklahoma have served in the Guard, by the way, and thank you for all of you that have.
Yes.
And then it has a lot of ties also to the Fighting 45th, and just the legacy there in so many ways as well. So yeah, there's a whole lot of history to celebrate. There's a lot to see.
Oh, absolutely. And I am a nerd. I don't, and I wear this with pride. I love a good museum. Yeah. I just feel like it's so, to me, this is not boring. These are real history. This is real history. This is what happened. These are the people who took part in whatever it is the museum is about, right? And so I'm so excited to get to go through this.
And look at that. It's not just a bunch of photographs. I mean, they've got all the gear. They've got a whole bunch of stuff there. They got hands-on things that you can do, and really make you appreciate just how difficult some of the situations were that those soldiers were in for so long, and to celebrate the Thunderbirds and everybody else that was involved with the Guard here in Oklahoma.
Oh, for sure. And you're right. I still think of it as the 45th, right?
Yeah.
And of course, your brother, our own Kevin Ogle, took part in the ribbon cutting ceremony yesterday, and so we're very excited about that and glad that they invited him to participate.
Well, I hope he did him a good job.
I'm sure he did. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to Around the Block on this Friday in June. The heat has already arrived, right? I mean,
so
with a
hot.
Vengeance, right?
Right.
And so everybody's trying to stay cool. What happens when somebody steals your air conditioning unit? I mean, not just like damaging it or trying to steal a little copper that's in it, which is very little, by the way, folks. Please don't do that. But they stole the whole unit.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
tragic.
It is. And those are not cheap. That is a massive expense, right? So we had done this story about this woman in Choctaw, this family in Choctaw whose air conditioning unit was stolen, okay? A business saw our In Your Corner coverage, Owens Comfort Solution. They went in, replaced it for free. They were so moved by the fact that we do these stories, we try to help people, alert people, they are now going to give back to the community. And for the entire month of June, like each week, they're picking a family in need, and they're going to replace their units.
I think that's amazing. I don't know how many folks out there have priced heating and air conditioning, total HVAC systems. They are so expensive.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of dollars.
Prohibitive for a lot of people to replace.
Absolutely. And the heat can be very dangerous too. So it's not like, oh, well, get a fan. Yes, fans help, and fans are awesome, and we love that because we do a fan drive, and yes, those can supplement.
Yeah.
But if you've had it and then something bad happens, and I just think this program is amazing, and this company, I love the fact that they took inspiration in this. So it's Owens Comfort Solution. So what they're doing is, so we went along for the very first one that they initiated, and Candy Penwright was nominated by dozens of her classmates from the class of, she might not want me saying the class of, well, her classmates nominated her to the company.
From back when she graduated.
That's right. So they got together and nominated her. They say that she has welcomed the homeless, those battling addiction, abused children, anyone in need of a safe place to call home. But she needed help because she lives in a century-old farmhouse.
Right.
She shares it with 3 adopted children. The window units is all she's had. She's never had an air conditioning system in this house.
And the window units were falling out. The sills were rotted out from the moisture.
Yes.
It was not good.
wood burning stove to stay warm.
Right.
So they went in and she was chosen to receive the unit. I mean, it just warms your heart, right?
Yeah, that was fantastic stuff right there. And also, we want to thank the Owens. Besides them, they did all that labor and everything else, but also understand that they got some sort of a break from their supplier. So we thank those people for being involved as well. Because
Yes.
again, folks, that is just so expensive.
Mhm.
First to buy the equipment, then to lay it in, the expertise it takes to do it, the fact that they're taking away time from other customers that possibly would be paying that they could be, making money from. So, I mean, it's really, the whole story is pretty awesome.
I think it is too. And the fact that they're not just going to do it once.
Right.
They're doing it
Yes.
during it, each week during the month of June.
Yes. Yeah, that's really cool. So hopefully we'll get to see the next story as well.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to nominate somebody for this, we have details on our website. So go look for those
Oh,
stories.
that's right.
And
You can nominate somebody. Yeah,
and you can nominate someone.
that's cool.
Okay, so let's talk about homeowners insurance.
Man,
I mean, holy cow.
is there steam coming out of my ears yet? I mean,
Right?
that's just,
And I mean, it's crazy because we're topping that list. We want to be at the top of these lists, but not this kind of
No.
list, right? I don't want to be number one in this category. We face the highest homeowner insurance costs in the entire country. What? I mean, why?
Right.
They, weather. I'm sorry. Florida has a lot of the same type of weather. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's many other states that have the
Kansas.
same kind of weather we do, right? Why are we the
and
ones?
we've reported on a New York Times article that compared homes right across the border in Kansas and Arkansas
Mhm.
that had much, much lower rates that were literally a couple of miles apart.
Right.
So something's going on here.
Something is going on, and it's terrible because people are already hurting, stretched to the max. This says that a new study by LendingTree says that Oklahomans pay an average of $5,300 annually for homeowners insurance. That is a 54% increase just from 2020. So just in the last 16 years, 54% increase.
Yeah. How long can that go on? Yeah. Since
can't.
2020, just in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not-
Okay, I'm the first one to admit that I am not the math whiz in the room. Like I went into journalism because they told me there'd be no math. That's the joke about it. But I can do this simple math that's too high and too much and too
Yeah.
soon, right?
Yeah, it sure does seem like it. So remember this. I mean, your vote matters. Also understand the policy. If everybody that's running for an office doesn't have any different policies, then maybe you want to go run for the office.
Right.
I don't know.
And speaking
Or
of that,
find out what those policies are.
right. And speaking of that, the Oklahoma Insurance Commissioner touts the free market competition between insurance companies to rein in those prices. Clearly, that's not happening. But, like you said, like California, they have regulations restricting how insurance calculate and raise those premiums. Oklahoma doesn't do that. We have neighboring states that
Mhm.
follow that same model. Oklahoma doesn't do that.
Understand the free market arguments as well. But
I do
it's-
too.
but
I do
it's,
too.
Yeah,
I do
sure,
be-
of course.
I do believe that free markets can balance
Create
things.
enough competition to where you get better rates. But something isn't working here, and there has been litigation. So we're following it. We do stories on it all the time. But right now it's tough. That is a $5,300 the average.
Yeah,
That's average, folks.
that's
Yeah,
a lot.
That is.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, when we come back, we're going to tell you how you can brush with the wild and what exactly that means. Welcome back to Around the Block on this Friday. Jacqueline Ferris, Kent Ogle, and I'm Carrie King. We're happy you are here with us. So let's talk about Cowboys. I mean, we are in cowboy country, right?
True enough.
Not just the OSU Cowboys, just Cowboys in general, but OSU too. But there's a thing called Cowboy Camp, and how fun does this sound? I mean, I don't know. It sounds fun to me. It's in Jones, and some kids are actually taking part in cowboy camp.
That's so cool. I know my niece Caitlin was out on this story yesterday. She said it was really a blast.
I mean, I just love this. And so the Oklahoma Cowboys Charitable Foundation puts this on. It's a week-long camp for kids from ages 6 to 13. They're learning all the basics of horsemanship, right? So how do you saddle? What side do you get on? Grooming, riding, even barrel racing. And I love it because it can be intimidating to get on a horse if you've never been around them or you were raised with them. I mean, it is an animal, very large one, a very strong and powerful one. But they're quite lovely if you learn how the right way to handle them.
Yeah, and it's for a lot of city dwelling kids like I was when I was growing up. I mean, that's a real change of pace to get out there and do something like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A real learning environment.
Absolutely, I love that this is going on. It's so interesting. The kids learn about the land through agriculture education as well. They also participated in some STEM activities, which I find really fascinating.
Right.
But you know what? Most importantly, I think they're having a lot of fun.
Having a lot of fun. And she reported on the fact that they were working really hard to make that affordable because most people know, having horses, it's kind of
It's expensive.
It's kind of a rich man's game in some ways, depending on what you're doing with them. But, they made that an opportunity for people from all walks of life, and that's great.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to have enough land to have the animals deserve that to have enough land to roam, and the upkeep, so that's how the costs do add up.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just excited that it's so the cowboy camp. So if your child didn't get to participate this year, maybe next year. Remember that in June. Think about cowboy camp. Right. Okay. So another kind of game that's happening are the Endeavor Games, and they're going on across our state, and they're held annually at UCO. And so this helps create easy access to sports competition for those with physical disabilities. But to me, it's like they have this ability, like, you can play basketball too. Doesn't matter, and I love that.
UCO does such a great job with it. They've been doing this for a long time up at UCO, so they really have it down. They have it very organized, and a lot of folks come in from around the country. This is just awesome, completely.
I think it's really cool. And, of course, I think it does maybe foster Paralympic dreams and, healthy competitions in sports like we saw the wheelchair basketball. They're playing some of the kids, they said, and participants, this is their first time.
Right.
So that's got to be pretty darn exciting. Maybe you thought you couldn't. Guess what? You can.
That's very cool. And some of them really discover that they're very athletic. And of course, some of them even move on to, we've had Paralympians come out of the Endeavor Games. I mean, that's what
I was going to say.
There's some amazing athletes that come out of that particular set of games there in Edmond at UCO.
In Edmond, UCO is actually the host home for the Paralympic sitting volleyball team. And I mean, I don't think people realize how many Olympians come out of the Endeavor Games program.
Oh,
it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Right here in Edmond, I mean, I worked with their events probably 20 years ago. And
is that right?
Grown and grown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
You have done so much, Jacqueline. One of these days, we're going to have to get down the list because it's just fascinating to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, you did that. Oh my gosh, you did that. That's so cool. I love
the Endeavor Games. I really encourage anyone to go spectate because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And you can see future Olympians.
Right. That's awesome. So we have, I take it we have that information you can get at kfor.com.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Excellent.
And, just go cheer them on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can yell really loudly from the stands.
And they love spectators.
And
they really do.
And if you're an older guy like me and you haven't been to UCO in a while, their facilities are off the charts. I mean, they have really invested there. So that's another thing you want to go check out.
State of the art.
I totally agree. I had an event there a few months ago, and I was driving on the campus, and it was like, oh, wow, look at that. Look at that. I mean, I knew things were happening over there, but I just hadn't driven through.
It's not your grandparents' UCO anymore.
No, it's really not. It's not Central State.
No.
Isn't that what they called it?
I remember Central State, yes.
Yeah, me too. I remember that too.
Absolutely. I think my sister's bachelor's degree is actually Central State. She went back and got her master's and it was UCO.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm not dating her. No, I'm not. I promise.
I went to football camp, Central State College, so I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I promised you we're going to talk about Brush the Wild, but we're going to do that when we come back from this break.
Okay.
You know, I never get tired of this music on Around the Block. I don't know what it is. It just makes me happy.
Right.
All right, so welcome back. Here we are. Okay, we're going to talk about this Brush with the Wild. So this is kind of fun. So you can tap into your creativity side. If you don't have to have any prior experience, but the Oklahoma City Zoo is offering a new wildlife themed painting series, and it's called Brush with the Wild. Now, here's the thing. This is for adults. This
Okay.
is not a kids event. This is actually for adults.
Tell me about it. So what do you do?
So tickets are required, and those slots go fast. So once they're open, you got to grab them. The first session is in July, and that's when an artist is actually going to guide the participants to paint Girlfriend the alligator. That's why we saw the alligator. Girlfriend the alligator. I love that. Future sessions will include painting one of the zoo's elephants. That's why we saw the elephants. And then a holiday theme, I think, is coming that might involve lions. I'm not really sure about that. I just know it's going to be holiday themed, but it's going to be fun because the Oklahoma City Zoo, they are so creative with the events that they dream up. And this sounds like so much fun. I'm a terrible artist, but I'm always willing to try and give it my best.
Get out to our world-class zoo and give that a shot for sure.
Absolutely. Doesn't that sound fun? I don't know how much the tickets are, but I do know this probably goes by very, very quickly. Right. Have you ever done anything else with the zoo out there?
I've done the Sip and Strolls, which is adult only, just like this. So I actually really want to sign up for this because the painting sounds fun.
Okay.
Yeah, Sip and Stroll's popular too.
It is.
It absolutely is. I think we are
Bizarre Holidays.
Bizarre Holidays. Okay, Falafel Day.
Great Dane Day, Loving Day, National Jerky Day.
Okay.
Do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, sure. National Movie Night Day. National Peanut Butter Cookie Day.
Raggedy Ann and Andy Day.
Really?
And Superman Day.
Superman. Okay, yeah. We didn't need that, Carrie. Go. We can sign off because of that. All right, y'all. It's been a lot of fun. We will see you back here on Monday, and have a great weekend.